Hello, Mr. Albert Hammond.
Hello, Robert.
Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me.
Well, it's a pleasure for me. Thank you very much.
Well, first of all, I would very much like to ask you about the song Down by the River,
Okay.
which was a hit in the mid-70s in Europe,
Yeah.
but it was a remake from the song from your debut album. Why the new version?
Well, in Europe, they felt it's not really a new version. It's the old version with some things added to it. In Europe, they felt that CBS felt that they needed less folky and more of a bigger drum and some other melody in the front as an intro. And I said, fine, no problems, whatever you feel I should do, and so I did it. The beauty of the song wasn't the second version or anything like that. I mean, the beauty of the song, it's the first pollution song ever written, probably, and it was because when I got to Los Angeles, I saw these colors, of this haze of colors all over the place. And I always wondered what it was. So when I asked what it was, they said to me, that's pollution, and that's the first time I heard it. And I thought, what a great idea to write a song about pollution,
Well, whichever version, the original or the European one, it sounds so happy and upbeat that I don't think the record-buying audience is aware of the serious undertone in the song. Did you do that on purpose?
That was part of the way I was. It never rains in Southern California is a happy melody, and yet the lyric is very sad, I think part of what I did unconsciously was write happy tunes to sad lyrics,
In your music, you are very versatile. You switch between music styles, but also in content. Some songs are just that, beautiful, sometimes personal songs, and others are beautiful, engaged songs. Which do you prefer and why?
Well, I don't look at what I prefer because I don't think I'm going to write this kind of a song today. It just comes to me. So I, almost like it happens to a lot of writers, I would imagine. It feels like I don't write them. It feels like somebody somewhere writes them and sends them to me. And they go through me for the world to hear. So I don't particularly think, I'm going to write a song about the rain today, or I'm going to write a song about love, or I'm going to write a rhythm and blues song, or I'm going to write a country song. Mm-hmm. They just come.
Yeah.
And when something is beautiful and it embraces you, you feel, well, if you work on it, obviously, and you finish it, and when you finished it, you feel, well, if this embraced me, and I'm a human being, and I think I'm a good human being, it will embrace other human beings,
Mm-hmm.
And so I make a demo, and then I find who I think would be the right artist to do it, and the next thing you know, it's on the radio, and maybe it's a hit, maybe it isn't, and that's how it goes. I mean, there's no secret really, except the mystery of how it happens that I can never put my finger on. And maybe I don't want to put my finger on it either, because I really, when things work for you for 54 years, you don't want them to change. So you don't want to know how it's done. You just want to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. But despite the mystery, you have written many hits for yourself and for others, so you must have a knack for it. What's the secret?
Well, I must have, I suppose. Yeah, I've written many, so I must have. But you're asking me something that I cannot. I wish I could reply. I don't know how or why. Maybe it's my instincts, that tells me, or maybe I'm one of those guys, with their feet on the ground. So if a friend of mine tells me that's a beautiful song, like I remember a song called To All the Girls I've Loved Before that I wrote in 1973. And I recorded it, and nothing happened. And then another big artist, the guy who sang Blue Velvet, I'm trying to think of his name, but anyways, he was a huge artist in America then. He sang it, nothing happened. Then Engelbert Humperdinck did it, nothing happened. Tom Jones did it, nothing happened. And 10 years later, because this man kept telling me, that song is a hit, that song is a hit. For 10 years, he would tell me every year, Albert, did anybody record that song? Yeah, but it wasn't a hit. But I know that song is a hit. So 10 years later, I met up with Julio Iglesias, and I thought, this is the perfect song for this man, you know.
Uh-huh.
And so I recorded with him, and then I brought in Willie Nelson, which I thought was a weird match, but a good one, I thought, you know. And then it became a hit. So, you know, I don't give up on things. You know, if I believe in something, or if somebody tells me this thing is important for you, you know, carry on trying, then maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but what I can't tell you is I can't write a book on how it's done or how I do it, because I have no idea.
And maybe you just need a little luck as well, because I read somewhere that when you came to America, you had just written It Never Rains in Southern California, and no one wanted to listen to it, and you almost didn't play it at the record company.
That's correct, yeah. I actually wrote it in England in 1969, and I played it to the Seekers, I played it to Glenn Campbell, and they thought it was the worst song they'd ever heard.
Whoa.
So I never played it to anyone until after I did my audition for CBS in Los Angeles for Clive Davis. He said, do you have any other songs? And I said, yeah, I have this one, but nobody likes this one, you know. And he said, play it for me. And that's when he said, that's going to be the title of the album, and that will be your biggest hit, he said.
Well, despite your worldwide success as a hit maker, you only ever had one hit single in your birth country, Great Britain. How can you still stand those people?
Oh, they're nice people. Come on.
Sorry.
It doesn't really matter, you know. It's not about the hits, you know. It's about when I go to England and I perform, they know every song, and I always tell them it's so strange, you know. They sing "It Never Rains" louder than any other song, and I always tell them, do you realize that this is the only country this song was not a hit in, you know? And they go, no, that cannot be true. And I go, yes, it is true. Mm-hmm. It's just that it doesn't matter to me, you know. It's not important. You know how many people have had, you know, 150 hits, and maybe you don't hear their songs anymore because they're not great songs, maybe. See, what I love about my songs is that 100 years after I'm dead, one of my songs will become a hit again, you know. And that's what I love about it, you know. And that's what I look back and I go to whoever up there, you know, thank you very much, you know. You make me feel good by what you've given me in my life.
Well, now that we're talking about the mid-70s, let's say 75, you were 31.
Was I 31?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
31. I was born in 44. Yeah, gosh. I thought I was younger. I think I'm younger now. I feel 30 now. How could I have been 31 in 75, you know?
What were you like in the mid-70s?
I was no different to now. I was a bundle of energy, you know. I had to, you know, I was never into what everybody else was into at a young age, because I had so much energy that I just couldn't think that I could take anything that would give me more, you know. On the contrary, I was like, how do I get rid of some of this energy, you know? So I used to love to run. Uh-huh. And I still do. I still run between 5 and 8 kilometers a day. But that's something that I've always loved doing, you know. So, and let me see, what else was I like? I was, you know, young and you know, wanting to achieve. And also, I loved life, you know. I wanted to help people. I was very much a bit like my father there, you know, where I would say a man with a big heart, that usually got hurt, mm-hmm. But always, you know, fixed his heart so he could carry on. And my father was that way, except he didn't know how to fix his heart, so he died at a very young age of the early 60s.
Your father wasn't capable of that, but how did you mend your heart?
Well, I found something I loved in life, you know, and so I wasn't going to let my heart be broken because I needed to do this something I loved so much. So every time somebody hurt me in any way, whether it was because of love or because somebody screwed with me or they did something wrong to me, I would, put it on the side and move on. I never stopped to ponder on it. I never stayed there. I've never believed in lawsuits, for example, because it's almost like the mafia putting bricks on your, mortar on your feet, and you can't move.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always believed, lawsuits are bad for you. Move on. Go to the next step. I love my family, obviously, but as a thing inside of me, the thing I love the most, more than running, more than eating, more than anything, is what I do, and what I do pleases millions of people, and that makes me the happiest man in the world.
And on this high note, we'll end the interview. Thank you very much, Albert Hammond, for your time.
No problem. Thank you very much, and hello to your audience and to you, my friend.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.